Hello everyone, my name is Liz. I am the knitwear designer of Elizabeth Street Studio. Welcome to another episode of the Studio Notes podcast. So I finally have some finished objects and some projects that are moving along nicely. So it is time to record another podcast. This is such a great way for me to take stock of how things are moving along and stay consistent in my work and stay accountable to myself and the things that I have and the goals that I have for myself. It's so easy to just let things slip by and time goes like that and you're like, where did the month go? That's how I'm feeling at the moment. This is actually Halloween afternoon when I'm recording this, and hopefully I can get it posted really quickly, like maybe by tomorrow this will be up. But we've had a really strange October here in Wisconsin. It's been so warm. I don't think I've worn any sweaters yet, and I've worn my shawl maybe once, twice. I wore my new shawl, Fiore, maybe only once in October because it was still so warm. So I'm okay with the cool weather and the leaves finally turning and it really starting to feel like fall and knitting season, and like I can enjoy my knits again. So that's exciting. My first finished object is my sweater. Oh, you guys. I designed and knit a whole sweater without a pattern. That's so crazy. And I'm so proud of myself. So this is a ginger sweater. I'm gonna awkwardly stand up like that. You can see it. It is slightly cropped. So you can see it comes just over the button, and these are kind of high waist jeans that I have on right at the moment. It's slightly cropped. It's super just like comfy, almost like a little bit stylish sweatshirt. That is totally the vibe I was going for here. I knit like, there might be as much of my hair knit into here as there is yarn. That's kind of gross. Oh well, that's long hair problems. This is actually like the second iteration of the ginger sweater idea that was in my head over a year ago. And this is my first sweater design. It was done as part of the sweater design school that Sister Mountain, Claire I think is her actual name, but her brand is Sister Mountain. She runs that sweater design school, and all of that class is where this sweater came from. I had to do the first iteration. It's actually hanging right over there out of the frame. The first round I learned a lot, bought a bunch of yarn, which didn't turn out, which is a little sad. So for this time, I kind of restarted, used different numbers, made some new swatches, and I wanted to use some yarn that I didn't have to invest a ton into until I knew it would work out the way I wanted it to. So this is knit up in Barocco Ultra Alpaca Light. And I think this colorway is actually discontinued. This was part of my stash that I got from my late grandmother. I got my love of knitting and all things making, at least half, if not all, from her. I inherited all of her knitting needles and yarn stash when she passed away, and there was like almost 2 sweaters worth of this in her stash. So I knew I had this. It's a decent yarn. I can't decide if I can wear this all day without getting itchy. It's the sleeves. Like everything else is okay, but it's the sleeves. I'm like, oh, I can't decide if I can wear this all day. I'll have to like try it out at home, just like lounging around, and then see if I can stand the alpaca. It's a little bit itchy. Just because it has that, you can see that halo, and this is probably vintage yarn at this point, so it might be even more halo-y at this point, but I don't know, we'll see. Anyway, so I knit it up in this blue colorway, which is probably not what I would have picked if I was buying the yarn myself. I wear a lot of like jeans blues like on the bottom, so usually I try to pick something different on the top. top. I don't have a lot of blue tops. And it feels like a denim cowboy kind of outfit, which isn't always bad, but I bookmarked some other, like a off-white-ish, like a stonewashed white, I don't know, colorway from the Barocco website. So I'll see if I have the energy to knit another sample out of the alpaca, or if I can stand the itchiness on my sleeves. We'll see. But it's a drop shoulder, as you can see, drop shoulder. Lots of positive ease. I think this central cable panel is actually a ribbed cable, and it ended up pulling in the like bust circumference a little bit more than I thought it would. There's also a split hem. I don't know if you noticed that before. There's just a nice little split hem, and that also kind of makes I feel like it would have been, it adds to the shaping just a tiny bit without actually increasing or decreasing. So it's very boxy, so it's really simple to knit. It's literally just a giant square, and then the sleeves are straight sleeves. There's just a little bit of ease. So they, again, they feel like comfy sweatshirt sleeves without a ton of shaping. And then there's a nice long cuff that are comfortably long, but not too long. I am really picky about the length of my sleeves because I don't like them too short, but so you could easily fold these back if that's more your jam. They're nice and long that way. But again, that's easily customizable. And then just a nice shallow scooped neckline, so you could still like easily wear like a necklace with it and it would look really nice. And the back is the exact same as the front cable panel. I think I keep getting distracted, but the ribbing is actually, it's a cable panel, but it's a ribbed cable. So it's this ribbed, see it right there? That's the ribbing pattern. So and I just added this extra 1 stitch kind of as a decoration. And then it's a 1 stitch and then 2x2 ribbing and then 1 stitch. And all you do is you cross those over every, like what, 10 or 12 rows, I think. And that's it. It looks super impressive and almost like they twist in and out of each other, but it's so simple. That's why I love cables. They look so fancy, but they're so easy to knit. So the back, I can turn around, see that is exactly the same as the front. So nice and simple, but like a comfy sweatshirt type pullover, but just like up a little notch. Love it. So this is the sample number 1, which I knit up, and then I just barely got a start on sample 2. Oh, look at that color. It's going to be beautiful. Oh, I can't wait to wear this color. And this is knit in Ampersand Fibers Jensen DK, and the colorway is Vermilion 3. And so the ginger sweater pattern, I wanted a gingery color, of course. And so this is absolutely perfect. And this is not going to be itchy at all. This feels really soft. The swatch that I blocked softened up really nicely. So I cannot wait to get moving on this a little bit more. The construction on this is a little bit different than other pullovers I've knit, but it's actually really clever. It's top down, 1 piece, and you start with the upper back. So this is actually the upper back. And then, so you knit the upper back down to your armhole depth in 1 piece. Then you put it on a holder like this. So this is the top, this is the bottom. And then with your right side facing you pick up the stitches for your shoulder and you work straight to kind of create your shoulder. So you can see right here I picked up, where's my pickup line? You can't even see it, it's like back here. So you knit and then you shape your arm or your neck hole, neckband line, and then you knit the other one, put that on a holder when you get to the point where you join the front neck. And then repeat that on the other side, shape the neck to the point where you join, and then you join, knit down again until the armhole depth. So now you have the armhole depth knit at the back and at the front, and you've joined your front. So then you join and work the rest of the body down in the round. So it makes it really easy to try it on as you go, which is super fun. And then of course you pick up the sleeves and knit those afterwards. So it's really easy, and then neckband at the end, obviously. So it's a really easy way to customize however long or short you want the body, and for sleeves too. I wrote the pattern specifically a little bit more cropped because I wanted a sweater that I could wear over dresses. And that's the one thing I haven't done yet. I was gonna do that for this podcast, but I'm too lazy to put on clothes, and then I was too lazy to do that. So it's just the holy jeans today. But I wanted something that I could wear over dresses. So this is a little bit cropped, and it comes like maybe like just over my like natural waist, a couple inches past my natural waist. So, and that's usually a good spot for dresses. I like them more cropped if you're gonna wear it with a dress, and then a little bit longer if I'm just gonna wear it with jeans. So again, that's total personal preference, but I wanted something that would work well with the dresses, but that I'd also be comfortable with jeans. And I think if you have high-waisted jeans, then this would totally work, but that's totally up to you. But yeah, so there's the beginning of sample 2, and this is I think when I'm actually gonna like take the photos, pattern photos in. I'm getting so close to done writing the pattern. I have most of it done. I just need to adjust some of the numbers for the bust circumference. It's like I think I was starting to say this, but since the cable panel is like ribbing, I think it pulls it in just a little bit more than I was expecting it to. I think if you blocked this like really aggressively, like it would probably just pop right out, but I want to make the pattern as exact as I can. So I'm gonna make sure that that makes sense. And then I added just a few, I think I went up a size for the sleeves actually. And I actually like how they fit. I wasn't sure if these were gonna be too tight. Sometimes with drop shoulder sweaters, the sleeves can get real tight real quick. And I didn't want them to be, again, I wanted the sweatshirt kind of fit. So I added just a few stitches, and I think it was actually, this is the 3rd size. And I think my sleeves are actually like the 4th size sleeves. So I'm gonna go back and like play with those numbers a little bit so that it's the 3rd size sleeves is just a little bit roomier. But I think you'll be able to really customize that as well. I'll always look at the arm circumference and the bust circumference when I'm knitting something so that I can really customize that. Those are the numbers that I end up looking at least. But yeah, so I'm really excited how this is looking. I was hoping to have this version ready because the trees they're just now like at their peak colors, I think, which for us is really, really late, like weeks late. And I was like, oh, I get more knitting time, but I still didn't finish. So I was hoping to take pictures in the beautiful fall colors, but I'll work with the time that I have and the colors that are left. So that's okay. But yeah, so this is Ginger. This sweater is moving along nicely. Oh man, I'm not sure. I'm hoping that like early 22, like January, February, this will be ready. Although probably have to start, I'm thinking we're gonna need at least like 6 to 8 weeks of testing. So it might be a little bit later than that. Oh well, that's okay. It will be here at the right time. So that's Ginger. The other, and part of why it's taking me as long is because I have so many things that I'm working on. I have so many ideas in my head, and I get excited and I get distracted and I want to work on them all at once when, you know, I maybe have an hour or 2 a day, if that, and instead of working on 5 things, I should work on 1 thing, but that's okay. The other thing I'm working on is a pair of some colorwork mitts. It's a pair of mitts. Oops, there goes my yarn. And I think I'm gonna call these the Wilder mitts. But I wanted to start working on some color work. I really wanna work on some colorwork yoke sweaters. But I was like, I'm gonna start with something smaller to kind of build up my confidence a little bit. And this is what I came up with, Wilder Mitts. These actually started with some like black and white yarn. Oh, look how cozy they are. Oh, I love how they turned out. Oh, I love it. This pattern actually started out as like black and white colorwork pattern in like, I think it was worsted weight yarn. And I was like, ooh, worsted weight is not good for colorwork, or it maybe for a yoke, but like not for an all over pattern. It got way too thick. I was like, this is not working. So I set it aside, and then eventually what I worked out was this. I might have shown these on a podcast before, but this little guy was playing with the gauge and the fit. You can see I did not weave in my ends. Just shove those in there. It's fine. I played with the gauge and the thumb shaping a little bit. I had trouble with figuring out how to carry the yarn around the thumb and make something also that looked like it was intentional and not just, you know, you're randomly keeping your yarn there so that you don't have to drop it. But anyway, the thumb shaping was it's a little bit small and a little off, and I wanted a little bit more of a shaping like down on your wrist so that you could tuck it under your jacket. So this was the first version, and I really liked the colors. There's a light green. Ooh, the sun came out just so I could show you. Light green, pink, and white. And I really like the graphic pattern that it came up with. Almost like little flowers. And I did simplify the colorwork just a tiny bit on my next version. So on this one, there's flowers, but there's a green stitch in the middle. I just found that to be really putsy. And so the thumb colorwork, I just omitted that to keep things a little bit simpler and cleaner. And then you can see it's just 3 stitches in this little like square flower shape. So there's 3 stitches and then 1 on the top, 1 on the bottom, instead of including that contrast stitch in the middle. So I really like how that turned out. Oh, I like those a lot. And I added a little bit more cuff so that it fit your wrist just a bit more, and adjusted the increasing on the thumb. So I think this fits the thumb gusset just fits a little bit nicer, and it looks cleaner, and I like that better. So I love it. I need to take some pictures of this, and I need to knit the second one. This is just the first one, and I was writing up the pattern, which is just about ready, and I used, this is fingering weight, obviously fingering weight yarn, and you need like really tiny bits of your contrast colors. These are my contrast colors, and the main color is the blue color. I used Knit Picks. This is Knit Picks palette. This is actually Knitting for Olive Merino, Knitting with Olive Merino, and some mystery fingering weight yarn. I don't know what this is. So I think I'm gonna put the Knit Picks palette in as the actual yarn for the pattern, because I ordered some more colors to play around with. So these might just be like another color option. So I wanted to show some options for colors. And I like to use things that I know people can find. You could definitely use Knitting for Olive Merino. I had trouble getting gauge with this, and I really liked the gauge that I was able to get with Knit Picks. But please feel free to use the yarn that works best for you. I would probably rather use like a maybe more independent, or I don't want to say nicer yarn. I know that's a big discussion in the yarn community of, do you use more inexpensive yarn? Do you always splurge for the nice yarn? I would definitely say that Knitting for Olive is a little bit of a higher tier yarn than Knit Picks, but personally I love Knit Picks, especially for color work. I get really good tension results with it, and it doesn't break the bank. And if you are kind of just getting going, totally do that instead. But yeah, so I have no idea what this yarn is, and this was the main color, so it goes from my grandma's stash, and it's very woolly and just a little bit scratchy, but for mitts, I think that's okay. And I really like this blue and this like coppery orangey red together. Oh, I just love that. It just looks so pretty. But yeah, so this is gonna be really fun to play with color combinations. I love to do like a reverse where the light color is the main color and then the darker ones, like a reverse image of it. I think that would be really cool too. So this one I think is really close to being ready for testing, as long as I didn't make major boo-boo errors that need to be fixed in the pattern. But that it's almost ready for tech editing. So this one I'd like to release this before the end of the year, maybe as like a knit something for yourself after Christmas or something. These would be really great gifts too. Don't know if I'll have it published in time for like gift knitting, but we'll see. This I would like to publish before the end of this year yet. I also want to knit or make a hat pattern of this with this color work, and I'm thinking, I think also fingering weight, and well, I don't know. I was imagining fingering weight, but maybe DK weight, and then you wouldn't actually have to change the pattern that much. I'll have to play around with that. But I think I was thinking of doing a nice folded brim, and then just a nice big like beanie and a pom-pom for like middle of winter. Yeah, I think that'd be super fun. So I'm gonna work on a hat with this color work pattern as well. Yeah, so I have that. Then I'm also, one of the other big projects I had been working on this year, as far as knitting and patterns go, I have been updating all of the older patterns that I've written. And I have been updating the formatting, just like, so the copyright is up to date and making sure the formatting all matches, just adding in some things to make them a little bit more polished and professional feeling. I don't really feel like a professional, but I'm gonna make my patterns look professional either way. And so I've been doing that. So if you've bought any of my patterns, then you've probably gotten an update email to you. And I really like how those patterns are looking. And one of the things I've been doing is, while going through that, is kind of going back and looking at the older ones and being, I don't know, should I even keep this on Ravelry? Because some of them are their first tries. That's what they are. And I've learned a lot, and I've moved on a lot since then. But and so some of them I'm wondering if I want to update. And well, actually one of them I've already updated, which was St. Clair, which is that diamondy lace shawl. I did update that one. But I actually decided, I think I'm going to update another one, which is my, I don't know how you say it, Hygge, Hygge. That was when that like term and idea was like super popular. It's like, I'm gonna name something that. I'm like, okay. Like, myself now was like a little bit rolling my eyes at myself back then. That's okay. It's like, oh, shouldn't have picked something so trendy, a name so trendy that I don't even know how to pronounce. Anyway, they're these cabled mitts, and I really love how these turned out. And you can see these they're pilling up a little bit because I've worn them a whole lot. I actually have two pairs. I have these gold ones, and I have a pair of gray ones that I wear constantly. And I'm really happy with how these turned out. I love the thumb gusset, how it like grows out of the cables. Oh, it just looks so good. I don't know if you can see that, but I don't know. You can see it this way. You can sort of see it there. But it just, how nicely it flows out of the cables. Oh, like, I just love that. It looks so good. It's those little things in it. that really get me. But I really like these, and so I think I'm gonna update the pattern, have some more recent tech editing done. I honestly don't ever remember what I did for tech editing. Have those looked over again, and then kind of republish these. I think this is Brooklyn Tweeds DK weight. Oh my gosh, not Perry. Is it Perry? It might be Perry. Maybe it's fingering weight. See, it's been so long. But it's I think it's Klimt is the gold color. Ugh, just obsessed with the gold. But this is held up really well. There's a hat, which I think I need to it's a little bit, the fit is just a teeny bit off. So I think I need to just take a look at that and maybe add another repeat in, just so that it fits a little better. It's a little bit tight, and so I don't wear the hat, but I wear the mitts constantly, and I want to wear the hat. So look at the little pom-pom, how cute it is. I love that. So yeah, I'm gonna work on updating that, and I think I'm gonna knit some new samples, because why not, right? Why not? And fitting with my gingery color scheme that I have going on here, I pulled out, this is Green Mountain Spinnery Music DK. It's in Diamonds and Rust. I should make sure that's the actual weight that I used before knitting. Oh my goodness, I get too excited and then I use the wrong weight of yarn. Oh well. Hopefully this is the right weight, but look how pretty this color is. Oh, it has like flecks of yellow and red all mixed in there, like a golden yellow, and then the base color is like that gingery, just like the ampersand fibers. It's that gingery orange. Oh, I just love it. And then I also have an Alpaca Elegance 2-ply DK weight, also from Green Mountain Spinnery, a nice cream color. So I was gonna knit the hat with one and the mitts with another, just to give it a different, see what it looks like in a different yarn, instead of just a straight up wool. So there's alpaca. Well, the music is just wool. But see what it looks like in a different color, and then update the photos. And I have everything's matching. I love it. It makes my heart really happy, even though I did not plan it that way, but love it. Love it. I love it so much. So, and I can't remember what colors I ordered from. I ordered a bunch of knit picks to just try some other color combinations for the wilder mitts, but I do not remember what colors I bought. So that will be a fun surprise when it comes. Be like, what did I order? Oh yeah. So that'll be fun. So many fun things. I just hope I don't get distracted again. I have 2 other sweater ideas in my head that I'd love to get published next year. And then I also have an idea for a summer shawl collection, like 3 summer themed shawls that I'm thinking about putting together into maybe an ebook. That makes me really excited. But I also need to work on just like learning how to market and making sure the right people see my patterns, and finding the kind of connecting with the audience that has a similar aesthetic and vibe, so that I can work on my marketing skills and have more eyes on my patterns. So I don't know, I feel like I should wait till have a bigger audience to do an ebook, but also part of me is like, whatever, so what? I don't care, because I just want to do it. I'd probably do it even if I had 0 followers, so maybe that's the sign I should just do it. I don't know. But I have many ideas, and hopefully I can find enough time or make enough time to actually bring them to life. But whatever comes to life, make sure, if you want all the details of when things are coming out, If you are interested in test knitting, I'm going to need so many test knitters. I think that's the thing that I'm most unsure about with the sweater is finding all the testers. There's 9 sizes in the pattern that I'm writing, which I'm really proud of, like for my first one, including that many sizes. And I think this shape will work well for literally any body shape. And I'm really excited about that. But if you're interested for test knitting details for what the heck is coming out, if anything's coming out, make sure you can sign up for my newsletter. That's probably the best way to stay in touch. I am super inconsistent sometimes with social media because it's a love-hate relationship. But the newsletter you can find if you just go right to my website, which I'll link below, but it's elizabethstreetstudio.com, all written out, lowercase. There'll be a pop-up when you get there, and it'll prompt you. I'm actually gonna work on a newsletter probably very early this coming week. And when you sign up and you're a new subscriber, you also get a little discount code, so you could go grab a pattern that's on sale just for you, which is really fun. So that's what's coming up. That's what I've been working on, and I hope to talk to you again soon with all sorts of new finished objects. I'll talk to you soon, guys. Bye.